There we go. Don't know why I keep doing that, but it's Friday. It's finally starting to feel like fall in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area. A beautiful start to hopefully a great weekend for the Phillies. Tyler Mroz, Heat Ratio Sports Phillies pregame show, and did not get to do a pre or post last night. Oh, that was a brutal game. The Braves beat the Phillies 3-2. We'll get into it a little bit more about how that impacts today's game. But I mean, the Phillies looked pretty bad, especially with the strikeouts. I mean, we're going to be talking all about the strikeouts in a couple minutes, but Braves take the third consecutive series against the Phillies. So the Phillies have lost all three series so far against the Atlanta Braves. Not what you want, especially in a closer than what most people think divisional race. So we got game one in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium. Taijuan Walker, 3-4 with a 5.69 ERA, going up against Michael Wacha, 10-6 with a 3.33 ERA. I know, trust me, we're going to be talking all about Taijuan Walker in a little bit, but Phillies did make some roster moves. Austin Hayes is officially back. Cal Stevenson was optioned to AAA. Cal Stevenson did his job. I mean, you knew he wasn't going to be anything insane. You know, he's a guy that was going to come in here and there, and shout out to him. He got that bunt in that one game against the Nationals, which led to the Trey Turner walk-off. So shout out to Cal Stevenson. Always wish him the best, and hopefully if he needs to be caught up again, he can do well. But yeah, Austin Hayes is back. Another outfield depth, especially with the struggles of Brandon Marsh and now the uprising of Weston Wilson. He struggled last night, Weston Wilson, but I mean, so did Brandon Marsh. But you get another outfield bat and another righty. So now you have, I guess, just technically Brandon Marsh is the only lefty outfielder. I mean, you don't really count Kyle Schwarber, but yeah, Austin Hayes is back. What's up, David? How you doing, man? Hey, this beautiful Friday night. Hopefully, the start of a great weekend for not just you, but for everyone. Phillies lineup tonight. Austin Hayes is batting ninth in left field. Brandon Marsh is playing center field. No Johan Rojas or Weston Wilson. That was expected with Wilson. Really struggled last night. And with Austin Hayes coming back, it was expected that Hayes would be seeing some time. I'm surprised there's no Johan Rojas, though. Michael Wacha is a righty. So I guess Rod Thompson still wants some lefties at the bottom of that lineup. So Brandon Marsh will be playing. But Johan Rojas has been showing a lot of power lately, so I don't know why he's not getting more playing time than Brandon Marsh at this moment. I know he's a lefty compared to a righty, but yeah, Angels not doing too well. They just did they beat Kansas City? Yeah. But Kansas City won 2 of those 3. So yeah, your Angels have definitely seen some of what the Phillies are going to be seeing tonight. And they're a really hot team. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. They are one of the best teams in the American League. They're only 2 games behind the Cleveland Guardians for first place in the American League Central. And they're currently tied with the Twins for not just second place in their division, but for the second wild card spot. The American League has been so stacked. The Houston Astros seem to be back. You got the Guardians, the Twins, and the Royals all over 70 wins. And then you have the two-headed juggernaut of the Orioles and the Yankees in the AL East. So, I mean, the American League is just stacked. It's going to be pretty interesting to see who comes out of there. And Kansas City Royals could very well be one of those teams. They swept the Cincinnati Reds. Listen to this. They outscored them 28-3 in 3 games. So apologies to any Atlanta Falcons fans that are listening, but they outscored the Reds 28-3. A 3-game stretch. That's insane. That's crazy. But it's over 9 runs a game. So Phillies really need to follow some of these keys. And we talked about Taijuan time. It's Taijuan's time to pitch well. Should be, I don't know if this will be, but this should be his last opportunity. He is getting paid, I don't care how much money. But if you're a guy that has close to a 6 ERA, you should not be a starting pitcher on a World Series contender. You should be a starting pitcher for the Chicago White Sox, who are a historically bad team. But Taijuan Walker, if he has another stinker tonight, I would send him down to AAA because something has to change. If a guy is who's supposed to be an innings eater. These guys that are the back end of the rotation, they're supposed to be inning eaters. They're not going to have the greatest ERA, probably going to have a mid-4 ERA, but they're supposed to have a lot of innings. They're supposed to eat innings, and Taijuan Walker isn't even doing that. Taijuan Walker has been abysmal. The Phillies are 1-8 in the last 9 starts Walker's been in. When's May? I wrote that May 22nd was the last time the Phillies won a game that Taijuan Walker pitched in. I know he missed a few months, but still, he lost the last 7 consecutive games that he started. Beat the Rangers, and then another loss to the Mets. So 8 of their last 9 games with Taijuan Walker have been losses. That's abysmal. That's so bad. And it's not even like he's a good pitcher and he's just getting the losses. It's not like in the New York Mets with Jacob deGrom, where he's allowing 1 to 2 runs and the Mets offense scores even less than that. No, Taijuan Walker is giving up a run an inning. He's giving up 3 runs in just 4 innings. He has not been great since he came back. And I know a lot of pitchers struggle when they come back from injury, but Taijuan Walker has been struggling this entire season. His ERA has never been below, I think, 6 or 5. This is like one of the highest. It's been higher and higher. But I don't. He's given up a run in every single game he's pitched this year. And that is unacceptable. You got a guy who's getting paid, or he was getting paid $20 million this year. I think it's what $18 million this year, something like that. I know it's a front-loaded contract, so I mean the worst of it is already gone. But still, Dave Dombrowski, Rob Thompson, if Taijuan Walker has another stinker, get him out. Just get him out. Bring Tyler Phillips back up. I'd rather develop him as the 5th starter. Bring up Mick Abel. He was doing well recently. I mean, he's not going to start, but Taijuan Walker, if he has another stinker against the Royals, I know the Royals are a really good team. They're one of the best offensive teams in the league. Talking about another guy, we'll be getting to him shortly, but he just cannot be starting if he's going to be this bad. He had stinkers against the Miami Marlins and the Washington Nationals. Abysmal teams. The Marlins are abysmal. The Nationals are not the greatest, but they're still decent. But you should not be losing to these teams. You should not be giving up all these runs to these lower-end teams that are 10 games under 500. More than that in the case of the Marlins, which is they're about 30. So Taijuan Walker, it's time, in the words of, was it Ricky Bobby? No, it's not Ricky Bobby. What am I thinking? In the words of Woody Harrelson, Tallahassee, from Zombieland, it's time to nut up or shut up. He's got to come out today. He's got to have his best game of the season. 66 hits and 61 innings pitched. He's given up over a hit an inning. It's abysmal. Taijuan Walker has been not good at all for the Phillies this season, and he needs to come up big. It's game 1 on the road against one of the best teams in arguably the league, with one of the best players in the league. So Taijuan Walker, he needs to come out. And the offense is probably going to need to score a couple runs here to make up for the losses of Taijuan Walker. And how do you do that? You don't strike out. The Phillies had 5 batters that struck out 2 or more times yesterday. And in the case of Weston Wilson and Brandon Marsh, they struck out 3 times. Harper, Schwarber, and Castellanos all struck out twice last night. And then Wilson and Marsh 3 times. Abysmal against a rubberneck matchup against the Braves, a team who is not right behind you, but they're closer than you think to taking over the division. And you're losing. You're coming out. Your best guys are striking out 2 or 3 times. So you cannot do that. And then Michael Wacha has been striking out a good amount of people in his last 2 games. Struck out 9 his last start and struck out 6 in the previous one. So he's got 15 strikeouts in his last 2 games. So the Phillies stop striking out, especially you, Bryce Harper. He needs to come up clutch tonight. He had a strikeout last night. All 3 were balls low in the zone, not even close. Not even close. And he swung at all of them. I think he got 6 or 7 pitches at bat, and they were all balls. And yet he somehow still struck out. So plate discipline needs to be in effect today. And the Royals are not a team that strikes out a lot of people. They're 23rd, 24th? Where did I write this down? They are, I don't know where I wrote this. Oh, yeah, here we go. They're 23rd in strikeouts per 9 as a team in the majors. The Phillies, talk about the Braves series. The 3 games, they lost the first game and the last game. They won the middle game. The 2 games they lost, they struck out 13 times and they struck out 14 times. The game they won, they only struck out 5 times. So striking out is something the Phillies need to avoid doing tonight. So let me know, do you think the Phillies are going to be striking out a lot? Brandon Marsh is back in the lineup. He's been one of the worst strikeout batters in the entire league, not just since June, but for the majority of the season. Probably a well over 40% strikeout rate after last night since June. I'm not sure what it is on the season off the top of my head, but yeah, Phillies, you have to stop striking out because Taijuan Walker is most likely going to give up 3 to 4 runs. So you see it last night. They scored 2 runs and they struck out 14 times. That's not going to cut it on the road against another guy. Wiswood out. Talked about this with Whit Merrifield. Wiswood out. Bobby Witt Jr. If it weren't for Aaron Judge being an alien and Juan Soto being another amazing player, Bobby Witt would by far be the American League MVP. Just look at this season. He's having one of the best shortstop seasons ever. Not just in the American League, but ever. He's batting .352 with a 4.02 on base, slugging .619. Got 25 home runs and 92 RBIs. Folks, it's August 23rd. There's still over a month to go in the season, and this kid is going to have probably close, maybe even 120 RBI, close to that. I mean, he could get even hotter. He's very close in the total bases with Aaron Judge. Obviously, not as many home runs. Judge has close to 60, which is insane. Shout out Aaron Judge, who's an athletic specimen, the best hitter maybe I've ever seen live, besides prime Ryan Howard. But Bobby Witt Jr., you cannot let him take over. He will get hot. He will end this game. He is not just a guy that can get contact, get a single. He will steal bases too. He's really good at everything he does. He has unbelievable speed. He has unbelievable contact, and he has good power. I mean, you see that right there. He has 25 home runs, not even the end of August yet. So Bobby Witt Jr., he's 24 years old. He's like 4 years older than me, which is crazy. And he's doing all this. How many stolen bases in 5? They've had 127 games. So he plays too. His OPS is 1.020. That's way above league average. It's just unbelievable. He's stolen only 25 bases this year, but still, his previous 2, there's been no season where Bobby Witt has stolen less than 30 bases. So Wiswood out. If you're getting a cheesesteak tonight, get it Wiswood out because I was going to wear the powder blue. No blue. It's all red tonight, baby. And if you're getting a cheesesteak, Wiswood out because no, we cannot have any kind of Royals, anything. No blue, no Bobby Witt, no nothing. No Salvi Perez, no Crowns, nothing Royal. If you're drinking Crown Royale, do not do that tonight. If you're a Phillies fan, do not do that. You gotta stick true. Stay true to the Philly. What's a Philly? Drink surfs. Don't listen to me. But talk about our triple play of the day. So let's see what we got cooking today on this glorious Friday night. Triple play of the day. Again, go to Win Daily. Use your code HEAT. You get 50% off. This isn't going to last much longer, so definitely want to get in there. All the best bets, all the best analysts helping you with the bets. So, see what we got today. Taijuan Walker, under 15.5 outs, recorded at -115. Kyle Schwarber to get 2+ total bases at +130. And then Bryce Harper, a bounce-back game at over 1.5 HRR. That's hits, plus runs, plus RBIs. So if he gets an RBI single, boom, it hits. It's at -160. And they're not the best odds, but looking at all of these odds on DraftKings, it really seems like, that Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper are being projected to have pretty big games. That's also the bonus bet. It's Kyle Schwarber to get maybe not a leadoff Schwarber bomb, but a Schwarber bomb at some point during the game. He's got +390 odds at the moment. Has a good history against Michael Wacha, 7 for 19, 4 home runs, 6 RBIs. So batting 368 against a guy. And 7 of his hits, 4 of them are home runs. So Kyle Schwarber to get a home run at plus 390. Taijuan Walker under 15 and a half outs recorded. That's about 5 innings. So it's basically saying he's not going 6. Kyle Schwarber to get 2+ total bases at plus 130. So guess what? If he hits a home run, that total bases and the home run bet at plus 390 and plus 130, those will both hit. And then Bryce Harper, over 1.5 HRR hits plus runs plus RBIs. That's at minus 160. So I'm projecting a big game for Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, 2 guys that have really struggled recently. Again, use your code HEAT. Go to Win Daily. Get your best bets 50% off. You can get $7 for your first week. Can't beat that. And like thing I like to do on game ones of these series during these pregame shows, talk about the best moments against these teams. For divisional teams or National League teams, I'll talk about them. Like if the Phillies are playing the Nationals in Philly, we'll talk about the best moments that happen in Philly against the Nationals. But for a team like the Royals that you see once a year, used to be not often at all. Used to be once every couple years. But best moments versus the Royals. This is both home or away. Who could forget the year 1980? The Phillies win their first World Series, closing it out in the vet, getting the franchise's first World Series ever. Of course, that came against the George Brett and the Kansas City Royals. And then we go to 2007. Got John Lieber, a complete game shutout in 2007. 9 innings, 3 hits, struck out 11. It's the Phillies lineup that day. Rollins, Victorino, Utley, Howard, Rowan, Burrell, Dobbs. Michael Bourne was a pinch hitter. Andres Nunez? I don't know. It says A. And then Rod Barajas was starting at catcher. So, yeah. And then we got a more recent one, 2023. Trey Turner's standing ovation. Trey Turner was batting in the 230s. Just signed him to that massive contract and was not performing. So some Phillies fans had an idea. Well, what if we just show him that we have his back? He's going to be here for the long haul. So we got to support him. We're in the midst of a World Series chase. So his first at-bat, standing ovation. Let's do it. And the entire stadium did just that. How did he respond? He went, what? Where's this at? In the eight hole. He's batting second now. He's the clear and obvious second hole batter for the Phillies. Went 2 for 4. He got an RBI double, and he got a bomb, a 383-foot home run to left field. So anybody watching, what's your favorite moment that you've ever seen against the Royals? It doesn't have to be Phillies. It could be, if you're an Angels fan like you, David, favorite moment that happened against the Royals. You don't have a good history in the playoffs. The Royals swept the Angels last time they were in the postseason, but also like to check in on the divisional rivals. Braves obviously just took 2 of 3 from the Phillies. They are now starting a 3-game series against the Nationals in Atlanta. Chris Sale's on the mound for the Nationals tonight, so even bigger of a game for the Phillies. And then the Mets, they are in game 2 of a 4-game series at San Diego. They won last night's game 8-3, so they gained a game on the Phillies as well. And oh yeah, it's not looking too good right now. Phillies play the Royals, the Astros, and the Braves the next 3 series. So it's tough. It's going to be tough. And right now, the Braves are just 6 games back. Mets are 7.5. So huge series for the Phillies. Game 1 is Taijuan Walker, biggest series of the season so far. Against one of the best teams in not just the American League, but the league, against one of the best players, not just in the American League, but in the entire league. Bobby Witt's arguably a top 5, arguably even a top 3 player. I wouldn't go that far. I would say top 5. I'd put him probably 5 off the top of my head. But, I mean, Kansas City, not great success against the Phillies. They haven't won a series against the Titans since April of 2013. So it's been 11 years since the Royals have gotten a series win. And what bigger statement for Taijuan Walker to make than to come out and to shut down the Royals, shut down the one of the best young, I'm going to take that back. The best young player in the league right now. As always, I'll be live for postgame 5 to 10 minutes after the final out. It always depends if it's a closer game or if it's blowout, then I can have everything ready to go and I could be live even like a minute. So as always, 5 to 10 minutes for post-game HRS Triple play of the day. Taijuan Walker under 15.5 outs, recorded at minus 115. Kyle Schwarber to get 2+ total bases at plus 130. Bryce Harper, 1.5 HRR, minus 160. And Kyle Schwarber, the king of Wawa, home run, plus 390. Game 1, Taijuan Walker, Michael Wacha. Oh boy, this should be an interesting game. Could it be Taijuan Walker's final start for the Phillies? I think so, especially if it's abysmal. Don't forget, post-game, 5 to 10 minutes, live here on Heat Ratio Sports after the final out. Make sure you're liking, comment, subscribing. Can't do this without any of you guys, anybody that's watching. You are the biggest reason as to why we are going. Besides the man, Tony. Shout out to Tony. Tony's working his butt off. The Tony Cotillo Show debuts September 9th. Live here on Heat Ratio Sports. Got a little snippet of it yesterday going live talking about Jahan Dotson of the Eagles. Good words. So, yeah, September 9th. You are not going to want to miss it. Monday through Friday. Going to have some awesome guests on there. And he's going to have some awesome topics to talk about. So you are definitely not going to want to miss that. So as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notifications bell because you don't know when the Phillies are going live. You don't know when the post-game show is going to happen. You get notified. It'll tell you right away. Heat Ratio Sports is going live right now. So make sure that you have your notifications on as well. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much as always. Super excited and blessed to be doing this. It's the opportunity of a lifetime, and I wouldn't want to do anything else. Maybe I will be doing something else soon in the coming days, so hopefully we have an exciting announcement about that coming up. But 5 to 10 minutes live here on Heat Ratio Sports post-game show. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you there, and hopefully we can talk about a Phillies win. Hopefully you don't get stressed out about the game too much. I'll try not to, so you got to try to too. If I try, you try. That's fair, right? I think so. So have a good night, everyone. See you live 5 to 10 minutes after. And as always, stay fresh, my friends. Enjoy the game.